three types of taxes that we have in South Carolina. In fact, back in the 70s, South Carolina was praised as having one of the best models of taxation in the country. We use the three-legged stool approach. The three-legged stool being the most solid structure that you could imagine. How many of you have been to a bar, and when you go up to the bar, you go to a four-legged... Nobody's raising your hand. Oh, I'm sorry. How many of you have gone to your kitchen counter? Because none of us have been to a bar before. Thank you. I apologize. How many of you have gone to your kitchen counter and you've gone up to your four-legged stool and it wobbles? And so when your wife's not looking, you slide it down one and you sit on the good one, right? The wife comes, gets it, slides it down for the kid because that four-legged stool is annoying. Some of you today may have sat in a chair that had four legs that kind of wobble. The three-legged stool is the most sturdy invention ever created by man. In fact, you can cut an inch. I dare you tonight, go home and cut an inch off of your husband's stool or your wife's stool. Now, you'll pay the price for it, but cut an inch off that stool. It might lean, but it'll never do what? Wobble or fall. We had a three-legged stool approach in South Carolina: income taxes, property taxes, and sales taxes. With Act 388 in 2006, we cut one leg off of the what? Stool. We eliminated owner-occupied property taxes, making us 87% reliable as a state on sales and income. So in a state like South Carolina, we have found ourselves, by cutting off one leg of our stool, that we've fallen and we can't get up because we've cut the most stable leg of our stool. Not only we shifted us to the most volatile and less reliable sources of income, but if sales are down 8 to 10%, guess what revenue collections are down, surprisingly? 8 to 10%. Since the General Assembly has enacted 388, we've lost $600 million due to this swap. But they made us a promise. The General Assembly promised us with Act 388 that if we swap owner-occupied property taxes to support public schools for the penny sales tax, if the penny does not ever generate the same amount of revenue, then the General Assembly will make up the difference. He pauses. I am here today to tell you the General Assembly has kept its promise every single year. But my Uncle Bubba told me, if somebody's ever given you $1 with one hand, you better watch what? Your back pocket with the other hand. Because it's true. Every year, the first year we were short $50 million. The General Assembly gave us how much? $50 million. The last year, $108 million. The General Assembly gave us $108 million. This current year, we are going to be short $120 million. And our General Assembly, in its generosity, has budgeted, guess how much? $120 million. But if our pot is this big, and if every year we're having to carve out $120 million to make up for the lost revenue, guess how much our general fund is short? $120 million. So we're taking money from ourselves to reimburse who? Ourselves. And so we are getting, for example, schools are getting $120 million refunded to them. But at the same time, they're also getting funded based on a cost at 1994-95 levels of funding, the last year that Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates walked the earth. Since 2006, Act 388 has cost the state $600 million.